Oh, whoopsie. Hi everybody. How's it going? Welcome back to Pause and Effect on Air. I'm your host CJ, and today I accidentally happened to click the wrong OBS scene for a second there, but today we are doing more game development. So to those of you that joined me either before the stream started or right when we switched scenes, so that was Zeus of Olympus on Twitch and Nico Spirit of Hunters on YouTube. Thank you all so much for being here early slash on time. I appreciate you. So let me go ahead and get the music started. Starting with Bamboo Boogaloo from The Messenger, the past version to be more specific. And here we go.
Get started with the second game, a Metroid-style platform. While making this game, we will learn about a few more advanced concepts in Godot. Most importantly, number one, animations. Godot has a ton of systems to animate things, and we are going to learn about two. The animation player, that's a node, and tweens. Via that, with GDScript, you can animate any property. Next up, we have the tile map layer. This is an amazing tool to build levels.
Okay, before I do that, I need to come over to source files, go to site, yes, thank you very much. Essie Jolly, welcome to the stream. So, download the entire folder. I really should have considered doing this friggin' before I started. Okay. Thank you, Vivaldi. Okay. So under downloads, where did I leave? Okay, so all the rest of the stuff is in downloads too. I can just leave it all here. Why is all of it zipped? Yo, what the hell? Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that. This is a problem. Okay. There's a start file here too. Do I want to extract that? No, actually, I think I'll just make my own.
Finally, we will look at lights and shaders, which are essential for a good-looking game. Now to get all of this started, here we are in Godot.
Okay, so let's do create. Okay, Metroid project. There. So I need to be in 2D for this.
And I already have a couple of things. No scenes or code, but in the file system, we have a whole bunch of graphics that we are going to use. For example, there is the player.
Right, I need to, Hey, some random fool, welcome to the stream. Crap, so how do I re-import all of this in? It looks like it's taking its sweet time. Let's see. Provided assets, I guess. Oh, you know what? I think I get it. It won't let me pull in the folders, but I think it'll let me at least... Have to go. Sorry I couldn't stay long. All right, well, thank you for checking in, some random fool, and I will catch you on a future stream. Have a great rest of your night. Okay, so we have the drone. We have a default, and we have an explosion. We have some lights. We have even more lights. We have our tile sets. We have our UI. We have our sound effects. Okay. Is there anything else? Do I want to use the ones that he provided? I mean, I'll import them in just in case.
Looks a bit weird right now, but we'll work on it.
Wait, is that what I have? Yes, that is totally what I have.
We have a couple of audio files, those are very simple. And then, inside of project settings, we have an input map with left, right, jump, and shoot.
Okay, my controller is on, so project settings, input map. So what does he want? So move left, move right, jump, shoot. Okay. So need to set that. Okay.
The one thing that's new here is that we are capturing mouse input, the left mouse button, which you can get by clicking on plus and then mouse buttons. That's all I've done here. I got left mouse button. Besides that, inside of general, for the window, I'm going with 1280 by 720. That one is very simple. And finally, under text.
Oh, pause. And effect?
Besides that, inside of general, for the window.
Okay, so project settings, general window, 1280 by 720.
Window, I'm going with 1280 by 720. That one is very simple. And finally, under textures, I have set the default texture filter to nearest. Because once again, we are working with pixel art, and we want to get the right filtering behavior. This would be the starting project. And to set up the basics, I want to create a 2D scene, rename it to, let's call this one level, save this one inside of a new folder called scenes. I suppose inside of this folder, we can create another folder for levels and then save it in there. That way,
don't need to
inside
do
of the file system, we have scenes, levels with the main level. The only thing that I want to have in here is a static body 2D with a collision shape. For this collision shape, I want to have a rectangle shape that we can expand quite a bit to something like so. This is going to be our floor for testing purposes. It's not going to be visible by default inside of the game. If I run the scene and select the current level scene to run. At the moment, we do have a scene, but we can't see the collision shape. For that, under debug, you can enable visible collision shapes. If I now run this again.
Wait, go back to that?
Debug.
Oh. Yep.
You can enable visible collision shapes. If I now run this again, we can see the floor. Can be very nice to get things started. Next up, I want to create a new scene where the root node is going to be a character body 2D.
Okay, so... Oh, wait. Get rid of that real quick. Character body 2D.
Which will be our layer. Once again, this I want to save inside of scenes.
Will it let me go backwards? Yeah, I'll overwrite that.
In there, I want to have a folder for, let's call it entities.
Actually, probably a good idea. Entities, I'll put my player.tscn. Wait. Player.gd is a script. I may want to delete these. There. Oh, there we go. Let me see. What else can I...
We're going to put the player and the enemy drones in there. For now, player.tscn, that's fine. And to this body, I want to add a collision shape, which is going to be some kind of capsule-shapey thing. We can refine this later on. For now, I want to save, go back to level, add in node 2D, called
Add child node.
entities. As a child of that node, I want to have the player.tscn file. And then we are getting the player collision shape. If I run the scene again, you can see we have the floor.
Okay, so I have to move the entire static body 2D down. At least I think so. Yeah, this doesn't have any physics attached to it yet.
Floor and the player. Looks very plain at the moment,
Either way, I was
but
able to
it's
see
a
it.
good way to get things started. Nearly done with the first setup
Yeah, you can definitely see the capsule collider that is the player.
part. The last thing that I want to do is to move this player
Zeus,
to the
welcome
right.
back.
That's going to be your exercise. This should be reasonably straightforward if you paid attention to things in game 1. Pause the...
Okay. Whoa, what? Zeus, SC Jolly is here, but they're on YouTube. As you are on Twitch, that might complicate things. Hmm. Well, this is weird. Certainly didn't expect to see... Alright, well... Ouch. I'm gonna get rid of this. Okay, why are you doing this? You said you were gonna... Okay, I don't know why the hell it's doing this. I'm just gonna set up a new one of these. Okay, remove, create. Delete everything in that. Empty recycle bin. Okay, cool. Skipping this. Okay, node 2D. So add child node. Um, wait. Oh wait, it's a static body. Add child node, collision shape. Set a rectangle. Okay. Save this in a new folder titled Levels. Create a new folder called Entities. Oh, so I need to redo this again. Move left. Move right. Jump. Shoot. Left mouse. Okay. So then under General, window 1280 by 720. Then I need to set it to nearest. So now I need to set up my player. Character body 2D. Then collision shape. Capsule shape. Wait, what? Wait, I need to rename this. Crap! Okay, so save that. Oh, it's too offset, that's why. So let's see, does that work? Select current. Oh, right, so under debug, visible collision shapes. Okay, so that's the level block out, and this is the player. Alright, so now, sorry, I had to address something in the YouTube chat, but I need to so we come in here. Okay. So I did it again. What? Why? What the hell? I'm trying to set it up on my own, but it's like, oh, it's hmm. Like, it shouldn't have even imported this script. Why is it like this? I guess I'll just keep it for now? I don't know why it's continuing to do this, but alright, I guess. Okay, so it works. Okay, so it definitely works. I just realized, though, I forgot to include one input thing. Did that do it? Yes, it did. Awesome!
The video now and see if you can remember.
I mean, it provided the whole thing for me. So I feel like that's cheating in a way.
We have to give the player a script. Click on this button. The defaults here are totally fine. And then we need func_physics process. In there, to move a character body 2D, you want to always call move and slide. This, by default though, is not going to do anything.
Oh, wait, I love this song. Gonna take a second to just add more things to the queue here. I already have a lot in it. Okie doke.
So right now we have no move.
Yeah, you know what? Okay, so I'm going to do a new script. Detach script, add script, custom player. It's still doing it. Okay, getting rid of all that. Physics process, delta float, void, move, and slide.
Movement whatsoever, because we have to set a velocity for the player. This can be something like vector2.right multiplied with, let's say, 50. If I now run this again, we have the player moving to the right.
Yep.
Looks pretty good. Although all of this should be a bit cleaner. I want to have a variable for the direction of the player. This is going to be a vector2, and I want to have var speed, which is going to be an integer with a default value of 50. That way, for velocity, we can multiply direction with the speed. The end result is going to be the same. Actually, right now it's not, because direction doesn't have a default value. This we can set vector 2.right. And now we can try this again. We are moving to the right. In this system, we're going to refine quite a bit for proper movement. For now, I simply want to add an underscore to delta, so Godot stops complaining inside of the debugger. Then we are done with the setup. For the first proper part of the platformer game, I want to have proper movement, so we can go left, right, and jump. Here we are back in Godot, and I want to move the player. For that, at the moment, we have a vector 2 that defines the velocity. That does work.
Oh, I missed a few chats on the Twitch side. I am so sorry. So, Killer Machine, thank you so much for the lurk. And hi, Caleb, welcome to the stream. And now to flesh out your character, we need to give him a PNG of a gun.
But that's not the system that we want. Because I don't really care to move in all 4 directions at the same time. I only want to move left and right from the keyboard and then be able to jump. The down movement is covered entirely by gravity. That means, to get started, I want to only move left or right, for which we will only need a direction underscore x, which is going to be a floating point value, for which we don't need a default value. Meaning this value at the moment is going to be 0.0, which we are then going to use to update velocity.x. It's going to be direction.x multiplied by the speed. That part is still fine. Once again, we...
Oh. What the hell? It's not being...
Don't x multiplied by the speed. That part is still fine. Once again...
Oh, right.
We don't have any movement, and that is expected. Cool. To change that, I want to get func and something like get input. Instead of this function, we're going to override direction.x via input, and the function I want to use is called getAxis. This works very much like getVector, except now we are only looking at one axis. Or in other words, we have a negative and a positive action. The negative action in my case is going to be left, the positive one is right. After that, let's print direction.x and don't forget to call getInput, which I want to do inside of physics process before we're doing anything else. GetInput. If I now run the game, I can...
Right. Let's see. Yeah, it's working now. But it needs to be faster. Oh yeah, that's much better. I think I can make it a tad slower though. Print move bitch get out the way. If input dot is action just pressed move right, print backing up, print backing up, if input dot is action just pressed, move left. Else null. Oh yeah. There.
You can press right, we get 1.0. If I press left, we get negative 1.0. And that works really well. Also, you can see inside of the game, we are actually moving the player. Really good start. That means we don't have to print the direction anymore. Next up, I want to work on the
At least
jumping
I've learned
mechanic,
something.
which will consist of two parts. We have jumping and we have falling. Let's start with jumping. I want to check if input dot is action just pressed, and we have a jump action. That is space on the keyboard. If that is the case, I want to update velocity.y. And this needs to have some kind of negative value, because we want to go up. Let's say for now, negative 10. If I run the game, I can press space, and the player moves up. That looks good. We will refine this in just a second. First,
Oh, I see.
First of all, though, I want to have the second part of the equation, which is gravity, that I have covered in a separate function. Let's call this one apply underscore gravity. And all that this really does is velocity.y plus equal and then some kind of value. Let's say for now plus equal 10. That way we are going down and we are accelerating. This we have to call. I want to apply gravity.
Oh, I know why it's not working, because it's not, there's no check to see whether or not it's on the ground.
Let's try now. And the player falls down. Although if I press space, we're not jumping because the gravity is too strong. But if I set this value to negative 200, then this should be enough. I can now do basic jumps. Obviously not amazing yet, but a really, really good start.
I can barely see it.
And I think what we should also do is add a camera to the player, so we're not...
Oh yeah. Add child node camera 2D.
So zoomed out. I want to have a camera 2D with a zoom level of 3. That way, that feels quite a bit nicer. So we do have...
There.
have a basic jumping mechanic, but
I think I need to adjust my values a bit more. Wow. The fuck? Oh yeah. That's very smooth. I get what's happening. This is the exact problem I ran into when I was trying to make my own thing. Which was, the code I was trying to use would not turn off how many jumps I was able to make in midair. Knowing this guy, knowing clear code, I'm sure he's got a better thing.
We do have to make it a bit stronger so the player can jump higher. I want to have 2 more variables. One is going to be jump underscore strength, which is going to get a default value of, let's say for now, 10. And this always needs to be an integer. Besides that, I want to have gravity, which is also going to get a default value of 10. When we are getting input, I want to have the negative value.
Hold on.
Of jump strength. Now this might look a tiny bit weird.
Velocity.y equals... gravity. That might work, actually. It does!
We are defining a variable, and then we are getting the negative value. The reason why...
I'm keeping this song on repeat for a little while. Atrocity Second from Tekken 7. The friggin', the Negan stage from The Walking Dead.
I'm doing it is that when we are defining the variable...
Like, Negan as a fighting game rep is questionable as hell, but this song is so good.
I only want to care
So
about the distance that we want to jump. The actual logic in which way we are going can be covered right here. A negative jump strength would just look weird, but that is subjective. You could add a negative value in here just fine. For the gravity, I want to use velocity.y and add gravity to it. This right now would give us very low numbers, so not much is going to happen.
Yeah.
To test this a bit better, we can add export in front of both of them.
That's what that does, right. I'm going to add export to all 3 of these.
That way, with the player selected, we are exposing these variables to the inspector and then can set a custom value. This even works when the game is running. So let me run the game. We are getting basically no jumping because jump strength is too low. But if I simply click on the inspector, and you can see at the top, the game is still running. We can pause the game or we can restart the game. If I now set jump strength to, let's say, 200, I can return to the game, and now we are getting a very basic jump. Once again, if I increase this number to, let's say, 600, return to the game, then we are jumping quite a bit more. Maybe something like 400 would be better.
Huh, I called that. Hey, Jenny, welcome to the
And
stream
that
on the
is
Twitch
looking
side.
not too terrible. The next change that I want to work on is gravity. But before we can get to that, there's one more change that we have to make. This should be plus equal gravity times delta, which we are getting from the parameter. So in there, I want to have delta. After that, when we are calling gravity, I want to add delta as an argument, which we are in turn getting from the parameter of physics process. That way, inside of apply gravity.
What do you mean? Gravity delta.
We're getting delta, which at the moment is going to be a really, really low value. If I run the game again...
Oh, wait a minute. Is this gonna work?
And I jump, we are, well, not really falling, because we are multiplying 10 with something like 0.001. You can even see it if I restart the game. Gravity is incredibly low. But inside of the inspector, while the game is still running, I can set this to, let's say, 100. And then we are getting something more reasonable. Let's try 1000 instead. Then we're getting slightly better jumps, and this is now frame rate independent. We can get back to this later on to refine numbers, but I think for now, this is alright. That means to finish up this part, I want to add an exercise where you are getting the input for shooting.
Okay. Function Shooty McFace. If input dot is action just pressed shoot, print this is my boomstick pew pew. Yeah. Oh, right. Weird that it did not do that. Did I not set that? Oh, right. It's not being called. There. Now it's going.
For now, simply print shooting if the player presses the shooting action. On top of that, add a half a second reload time to it, so that we have an interval to control the player shooting speed. Pause the video now and see how far you get.
I mean... Isn't there a wait function? I mean, there might be. This is gonna be simple. I'll just call it shoot.
To get started,
Not sure about that thing, but
inside of get input, I want to if input is action just pressed as always, and then I want to get.
oh, so I didn't even need to declare it as its own function. I thought I had to.
Shoot. If that is the case, for now, I simply want to print shoot. If I run the game and I press the left mouse button, we are getting shoot. That looks pretty alright. The issue is I can press really fast and then we're getting shoot very, very quickly. There should be some kind of reload mechanic so we can't shoot too fast. I want to add a timer. Rename this to reload timer and then set a waiting time of 0.5. This
Reload timer, wait time 0.5. I said 0.5. Thank you.
This timer also should one shot. After that, you could go to node and work with timeout, but you don't have to. Instead, what you can do, when the player has triggered this shooting action, we want to start the timer. So reload timer dot start. Then this timer is going to run for half a second. And while this timer is running, we don't want to allow this if statement. Or in other words, I want to check for two conditions. If the player is pressing the button and the remaining time on this timer has to be 0. That way we know it doesn't run anymore. All we need for that is the reload timer, time left, and this value should be 0. I can now shoot really fast and
That should work then. Wait. I can press it, but it's not... That's really weird. Huh, that is very odd. Also, I just realized I have been slowly losing frames on the stream today. I don't know what the deal is there. Is Steam trying to download something again? No, I guess I was smart to have made sure to take care of all of that. Ugh. Alright.
we only get shoot every half a second. If I change the value of the reload timer to 2 seconds, try this again, and click as fast as I can.
Oh, that's the thing I missed. One shot. That's it.
We are only getting shoot every 2 seconds. Cool, this works. Next up, I want to work on the bullets. That way we can do at least some very basic shooting. We are also going to learn about custom signals, meaning you can create your own signals and emit them. But let's go through it step by step. Number 1, inside of the player. When the player presses the shoot action, we want to shoot a bullet. But for that, we have a problem. The bullets need to be inside of the level. That way, they can interact with other entities. But we get the player input inside of the player. Which means we have to connect this line here to the actual level. For that, first of all, the level is going to need a script. Attach a script, the defaults here are fine. Then we can do something in there. The thing that we want to do is from the player, we want to capture a signal. Now the
So from player signal.
player does have, if you have the player selected inside of level, we have all of the signals for the character body 2D. which can be useful, but for our purposes, they're basically useless. So instead, I want to create a custom signal, which you can do by simply typing signal and then add the name of the signal. In my case, shoot. Simply by adding that in the inspector for the player, we are getting shoot. On top of that, you can define parameters. In my case, I want to have a position, which needs to be a vector 2. This will be the starting position of the bullet. And I want to have a direction, which is also going to be a vector 2. Once you have that, inside of the inspector, you get the two parameters you have just defined, along with the data type.
Nice.
Back inside of the level, with the player selected, you can click on the signal and connect it to the level script. I guess for now, we can simply print the position and the
function on player shoot.
direction. Inside of the player script, when this if statement is being triggered, I want to get the shoot signal and emit it. For that, we will need two arguments, the position and the direction. For position, we can simply go with the position of the node. That's all we need. For the direction, at least for now, I want to have a vector2.right. And that should be it. If I now, inside of the game,
let's see what that does. Did he get rid of that print thing?
can simply go with the position of
He totally did.
the node. That's all we need. For the direction,
Huh. Is it supposed to?
at least for now, I want to have a vector2.right. And that should be it. If I now, inside of the game, use the left mouse button, we are getting different outputs. We are emitting the signal here, and inside of the level, we are capturing these 2 bits of information and
Oh. Right, because it's not connected to anything. Hello?
printing them. Via that, you can create custom signals. It's a really easy system and incredibly useful to connect 2 scenes to each other. And in our case, the position is already the right bit of information. The one thing we have to change though is the direction. The bullet
why is the platform moving? The player is moving. It just doesn't help that the player and the platform like look relatively the same. Hmm. I have like messed something up here. I need to. Signal shoot, position, vector 2, direction, vector 2. Yeah, that makes more sense. I'm not trying to do that.
Split information regions. It's a really easy system. Inferent outputs. We are emitting the signal here, and
I'm changing the song. There we go.
Inside of the level,
That should work now. There. There.
we are capturing these 2 bits of information and printing them. Via that, you can create custom signals. It's a really easy system and incredibly useful to connect 2 scenes to each other. And in our case, the position is already the right bit of information. The one thing we have to change though is the direction. The bullet should go in the mouse direction relative to the player center. In other words, if the mouse is vaguely here, then the bullet should go this way. If the mouse is on top of the player, then the bullet should go up. For which Godot actually has a function. It is called get local mouse position, and that way we are getting the local mouse position. This is the mouse position relative to this origin point. Or to be a bit more specific, the origin point of the scene that has this script attached to it. Let me actually demonstrate. Inside of the game, if I press the left mouse button and the mouse is vaguely here, we are getting 197 and -7. If I'm up here, we're getting 2.3 and -100. If I'm on the left side, we're getting -170 and -5. If I am right in the center, so basically here, we're getting pretty much 0 and 0. I am always looking at the bottom numbers. The first one is for the position, and this one doesn't change because the player isn't moving. Now this works, but this is not a good direction. In just a bit, we want to use this direction to move the bullet. But for that to work properly, the direction should always have the same length, which at the moment it does not. Imagine if this is the player scene with the center point here. If I click here and here, we're getting this direction and this direction. This vector could have a length of 1 and this could have a length of 3. This difference is really, really bad. Because for bullet movement, we want to multiply both of those with some kind of speed, for the actual bullet speed. But if the length of the vector is 3, then this bullet is going to move 3 times as fast. Obviously not ideal. And the way around that is to normalize the vector, for which you simply need normalized. That way, any kind of vector is going to get a standard length of 1. Or in other words, if I restart the game now and I press somewhere here, the vector we're getting has a value of vaguely 1 and then basically 0. Or to draw all of this, I have clicked vaguely here. So the original vector that we're getting is this. And by normalizing it, we are setting a length of this vector to 1. And it is always going to be 1. I could have clicked here, I could have clicked here, I could have clicked, let's say, here, and we would have gotten very different lengths. But from normalizing the vector, we are always getting a length of 1. So it would be here, here, or it would be here. That way, we're getting a constant direction, and this we can multiply with the speed to always have the same speed. This, by the way, we didn't have to do in the first game for the player movement, because when you do input.getVector, the vector that's being returned is already normalized. If you look at the documentation for it, Godot tells you the vector has its length limited to 1. That means it's normalized. Although this we don't want to do at the moment. With that, we get the...
Okay, you know what? I'm starting to really kind of stress myself out a little bit just following along. Not necessarily because I don't understand it. I definitely do, but it's really hot in here and my shoulder pain is starting to flare up a bit, so I'm gonna take a 5-minute break just so I can turn my air conditioning down, massage my shoulder, and take some Advil. So I will be right back. Okay, I'm back, and herein lies another problem. It's like, oh, hey, I stand up for a little while, I run my massage gun on my shoulder, I take some Advil. I forgot to turn off my bathroom light. But, like, I do all of that, and I'm like, oh, it's fine. Like, my body is fine. I can just, like, relax as normal. And then I sit back down in my chair again, like, oh, wait, there it goes. The shoulder pain has flared back up again. I'm mad. So I'm going to turn this back on for a bit. I don't know if you can hear this. I'm like running this in the spot between where my shoulder and my like where my neck meets my shoulder, because that's where it hurts. Sorry you're not feeling well. Thank you, Essie Jolly, and thank you for all the animal emojis. Like, what did you send? Actually, I'll be able to see them better if I look at OBS itself. So let's see, 5 zebras, 5 warthogs, 5 hedgehogs, 5 penguins, 5 snails, and 5 tigers. I like the tigers. Okay, let me just keep running this on my shoulder while I listen along for a bit.
The bullet start position and the proper bullet direction. That means inside of the level, we have to spawn a bullet that starts on this position and moves in this direction. For which, inside of graphics and fire, we have a default bullet. Looks fairly basic, but it's good enough. This part is going to be your exercise. I want you to create a bullet scene, spawn it when the player shoots, and then move the bullet in the right direction. Pause the video now and see how far you get.
So I think to do that, I need to make static body 2D as the scene. Okay, folder sprites. Downloads. Okay, no, this isn't it. Okay, that's the one. So let me see. Create the bullet scene. So now I also need to add a collision shape. Maybe I need to rotate it. Yeah, that could work. Yeah, I do want it to be more centered, so this actually kind of works a bit. Okay. So in the script for the level, I think it's okay. I may need some help here.
I want to create a new scene, and the node I want to create has to be an area 2D.
Oh, oops.
I can rename this to bullet and then add 2 nodes to it. I want to have a sprite 2D.
I got
and
that.
I want to have a collision shape 2D.
Okay, I was on the right
all
track.
Of this I want to save inside of scenes and a new folder called bullets. Bullet.tscn is totally fine in here. And then for the sprite 2D, I want to have default.png. That way we can see the bullet. And next up, for the collision shape, I want to have a rectangle shape 2D that I want to scale down.
That makes sense. Maybe I want to get rid of this if it keeps giving me errors. Add child node, collision shape. Rectangle.
Quite a bit to something
That might
like
work.
this. Next up, inside of the level, I first of all want to add another node 2D with the bullets. After that, in the level script,
Wait. Okay, it's just a node 2D. There.
bullets. After that, in the level script, I want to preload the bullet scene. So var bullet underscore scene, which we're getting from preload and bullet dot.
That's what it is. Okay. variable bullet scene equals preload.
TSCN.
That's the one.
When the player shoots, so when we're getting on player shoot, I want to create one instance of this bullet. That we do via bullet scene dot instantiate. And this we then want to add as a child to the bullets node that we have just created. $bullets, add child, and bullet. That way, if I run the game, I can press the left mouse button, and in the top left, you can barely see it up there, we are getting a bullet. To refine this, I want to get the bullet itself and update the position. And by the way, to be a bit cleaner here, when we are instantiating the bullet, this should be as an area 2D. That way, we always get the right kind of node, and we get the predictions, so now position does show up. Position is going to be the position we're getting from the parameters. So position in here. If I now run this again, I can press the left mouse button.
Yeah, that makes sense. But all you're doing is instantiating it. It's not... I don't feel like listening to this one. I'll just push this forward. Impact zone!
And we are creating a bullet in the center of the player. That does work, although
I have messed something up here. Let's see if that works. Whoopsie! Alright, let's see. That works. That works. Yes.
I feel like this could be organized a bit better. Instead of setting the position in here, I instead want to call a setup function on the bullet itself, where we are going to add the position and the direction. That way, we can keep all of the logic inside of the bullet, which is just a tiny bit cleaner. To the bullet, add a script. The defaults here, as always, are fine. Yeah. To do all of the logic inside of the bullet, which is just a tiny bit cleaner. To the bullet, add a script. The defaults here, as always, are fine. And we will need func setup with a position, vector 2, and the direction. Also a vector 2. First of all, I want to get the position and set it to the position that we're getting from the parameter. Just to test if this is working, if I press the left mouse button, we are getting a bullet. That looks good. Although, if you look closely, the bullet shouldn't start in the center of the player, it should be to the right. We want to get the position and then add the direction multiplied with some kind of offset. Let's try 12 for now. Inside of the...
See what that does. Well, it's offsetting on the y-axis.
The game, if I create a bullet, it
It's offsetting a tiny bit on the y.
it is just a bit outside of the player. I guess 16 here might be a bit better. But once again, once we have graphics, we can refine all of this a good bit. Let's
Yeah, it's not offset in any way.
leave it like this for now. Besides that, I want to update a direction for the bullet, which doesn't exist yet. For that, I need var direction. This has to be a vector 2. And then the direction is going to be the direction we're getting from the parameter. And this we can use now. With func physics process, I want to update the position and add direction times, let's say, 30. Don't forget, we also need delta. If I run this, I can...
Wait.
Direction times, let's say, 30. Don't forget, we also need delta. If I... I run this, I can shoot a bullet in...
That's really strange. Invalid operands vector 2 and int for a plus operator.
Let's update now.
That's very odd. I typed it the way he did.
With func physics process,
This is odd.
I want to update the position and add direction times, let's say, 30. Don't forget, we also need delta. If I run this, I can shoot a bullet in a direction. And that is working pretty well. With the basic setup covered, we can work...
No, it's not. Let me check something. Hearing the other voice made me think you were doing a Discord call or something. Hey, Wiggles, welcome to the stream. And no, I am suffering right now. You can't compare a vector with an integer. If AI to ball direction. Maybe position.x? Let me see.
On the edge sector, there are outside positions bullet side of the bullet, which is
It's more struggling than suffering, though. Can't it be both, Jenny? It can always be both. Or suffer struggles. Yeah. That works too. Yeah, this is normal. I mean, I did this. Like, this is normal. But this part...
is just a tiny bit cleaner. To the bullet, add a script. The defaults here, as always, are fine. And we will need func setup with a position, vector 2, and the direction, also a vector 2. First of all, I want to get the
Maybe not.
position and set it to the position that we're getting from the parameter. Just to test if this is working, if I press the left mouse button, we are getting a bullet. That looks good. Although, if you look closely, the bullet shouldn't start in the center of the player, it should be to the right.
Wait, it's working now.
We want to get the position and then add the direction multiplied with some kind of offset. Let's try 12 for now. Inside of the game, if I create a bullet, it is just a bit outside of the player. I guess 16 here might be a bit better. But once again, once we have
Well,
graphics,
it works now.
we can refine all of this a good bit. Let's leave it like this for now. Besides that, I want to update a direction for the bullet, which doesn't exist yet. For that, I need var direction. This has to be a vector 2. And then the direction is going to be
Huh.
the direct.
Well, I certainly didn't think retyping it would have fixed my issue. Oh yeah. There, we're no longer suffering.
From the parameters type, we choose pretty, for which we have to learn an incredibly important node, which is the animation player. Via that, at least for now, we're going to animate the legs. The top part of the player is going to come later. Also for now, inside of the game, I think these collision shapes are going to become a bit distracting. So instead, to the static body 2D, I want to add a sprite, which is going to get icon.svg, the Godot logo. And then I'm going to move the Godot logo in the same position, basically here. Then we can expand this thing, so we are covering roughly the collision area. Then we can go to debug, visible collision shapes disabled, run the game.
Let me see. There, that should do something. Yes. There. Now, while I'm thinking about it, one thing that I want to test if input.isAction just pressed jump, and is on floor. I think that might fix my thing. Oh yeah, that fixed being able to jump multiple times in midair. Nice.
And now, we do have the player, but the player itself isn't visible. We can see the floor because of the Godot logo. That's good enough. With that, I want to work on the player legs, which we are still going to store inside of a sprite 2D. To those, I want to add inside of characters, we have player.png.
Alright, Killer Machine, thanks for lurking and hanging out, and I will catch you on a future stream. Have a great rest of your night. And good luck at work tomorrow. I also just see a yay from SC Jolly on the YouTube side. That's perfect. Oh, also, I neglected to bring this up at the beginning of the stream, but I'm actually gonna pull up my YouTube studio for a moment. So, my tomorrow's stream, which was going to be Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, that was the original plan. Unfortunately, Amazon let me know, oh hey, the delivery of my copy of the game, because I opted for physical because I could get it a little cheaper that way. Well, that was a mistake, because it's not going to be delivered until next week. So I had to pivot to Bubsy 4D. So that's what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. Like, I wish it was Yoshi 2, but I fully admit I completely forgot about Bubsy's release. So this actually turned out to be Better than I expected, at least.
If I drag this in there,
Okay, so what I need to do now... Progress. Animation player.
then you can see we have the player, but cut up in various parts. The top part we're going to cover later. For now, I want to look only at the legs. First of all, we have to cut this tile sheet into individual parts. For that, inside of animation, we can set the H frames and the V frames. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 H frames, and we have 3 V frames. That way, we can select one of the frames and we get one part of the animation. Looks pretty alright. We want to animate this frame property. If I just do it with the mouse, let's say from this point forward.
I need to zoom into his shit again.
And we have 3 V frames. That way, we can select one of the frames and we get one part of the animation. Looks pretty alright. We want to animate this frame property.
Why does my screen have so many lines and the tutorial doesn't? The lines are there in the video, SC Jolly, if you look really close. Just, they're very visible on mine because I guess I have a setting turned to default. Like, if I zoom into this, if you look really closely, you can still see all of his lines. Like, all of his, like, axis lines. Like, there's the red line for the x-axis, the green line for the y-axis, and the purple square over here for the camera. But, his are not nearly as visible just because his thing is a video, but mine are more visible because it's because like you're seeing my thing in real time.
If I just do it with the mouse, let's say from this point forward, if you play these frames fast enough in sequence, you get a running animation. This can be done in a couple of different ways. You could write some code to loop over these frames and then play them continuously. Would be possible, but also quite a bit of work. Alternatively, you could use the animation.
Wait, I know what to play next. There you are. Where the hell are the songs in the queue? There you are. There. This should work. The pill has legs.
Layer. In there, you can, if you click on animation,
Wait, what did you
create
click?
layer. In there,
Ooh. Animation player.
you can, if you click on animation, create a new animation. You can give it a name. Let's call it the run animation. After that, you get a timeline to which you can add tracks, and you can animate different properties. The easiest and most common one is the property track. If you click on that, Godot is asking you what kind of node you want to animate. We want to go with the sprite 2D. If you click on OK,
actually I have a better idea. Let's rename this player legs.
then Godot is asking you what property of the sprite 2D you want to animate. In our case, that is going to be the frame. And now, if I click on Open, we can work inside of this timeline. If you hold Control or Command and use the mouse wheel, you can zoom in. This bright gray area is the timeline. At the moment, and by default, we're going from 0 to 1 second. Although you could change this here to whatever number you want. In fact, the walking animation should be 1.4 seconds. The button right next to it determines if this animation is looping or ping-pongs. Ping-pongs means we start from 0, go to the end, and then go from the end back to 0, and do this over and over. In our case, we want to loop the animation. This button should be blue. That's the basic setup. Now we have to add values to this timeline. This you can do in two ways. You can either right-click and insert a key. If you're doing that, you can see a small preview. And most important,
wait, what did you do?
And back to 0, and do this over and over. In our case, we want to loop the animation. This button should be blue. That's the basic setup. Now we have to add values to this timeline. This you can do in two ways. You can either right-click and insert a key. If you're doing that, you can see a small preview. And most importantly,
So this is just straight up keyframing that I used to do in Maya and Blender.
on the right, you can give
this.
the property that we have defined here, the frame, a value. So effectively, if you're looking at this sprite 2D, under frame, we are changing this value with whatever we have set in here. Also, once we have the animation player, you can see next to the property this key. If you click on it, you can add the property straight to the animation timeline, which I don't want to do right now. Let me get rid of all of this. Just to get started, I want to add a key, and the first value is 9. You can already see a preview there, although it might be quite small. Then, after 0.2 seconds, I want to add.
Oh yeah.
Another key, which is going to get a value of 10. Next up, another key is
Wait. One 1.4. Okay. Let's see.
This is going to be 11. 0.2 seconds later, I want to go to 12. Then at 0.8, and I think you can see where this is going. I want to go to value 13. After that, another key, This is going to be value 14. And we have one more, insert key, value 15. That way, we are getting the walking animation. And if you drag the indicator left and right, you can play the animation, or you just click on this button. Then you can see that we have a running animation. Although fundamentally, we are still working with a sprite 2D for the visuals, and that's really important to understand. All that the animation player is doing is it's changing this property, which means at the moment we have to move the legs up to align with the collision shape. I guess here is broadly fine. With that, inside of the game, we have the legs, although right now they don't animate. That is because inside of the animation player, we have to give it a default animation, which means you want to click on this button, then you're autoplaying it, and inside of the animation, you get this autoplay icon.
Let's see something.
Autoplaying it to give it a default animation, which means you want to click on this button, then you're autoplaying it, and inside of the animation, you get this autoplay icon. With that, we have the running animation. Besides that animation,
I'm realizing now it's offset tiny bit. Okay, yeah. He's good.
I also want to add
There, now it definitely looks like he's walking on top of it. Oh wait, I can... There, turn that off. No. Oh yeah, that is much better.
a new animation called idle. What is
Okay, so now...
this idle new animation called idle. For this idle animation, I want to add a track, property track with the sprite 2D, and once.
Okay, property track, player legs, frame. I think what I want is to key it at 16.
Once again, I want to target the frame.
If I had to guess.
The animation length is going to be 1 second, and this is what I actually want to autoplay. You can only play.
His pill's legs are within the oval. No, SC Jolly, I know. Like, I feel like I go over this every single time with you whenever we see the pill shape on stream, which is like the pill itself is just the capsule itself is just the collider. Like, you don't see it. When you load into the game, all you see are the legs. Like, the capsule itself is your collision detection. It's going to tell you whether or not you are, I guess it's going to detect whether or not anything collides with the player and then go from there. Like, for example, if your character gets shot, which that no more Billy Bob Thornton. Ugh, all right. So the way it works is if you get shot, then the enemy bullet is going to hit the capsule first. And when the bullet hits the capsule, or your player capsule, then that means it officially collides against the how do I put this? It officially collides against the player, and then you determine damage from there. Okay. Oh wait, this is one of my favorite songs. This goes on repeat for the night.
One animation automatically.
Okay.
For this animation, I want to insert a key, starting right at the beginning. The value should be 16.
Uh... Yeah, that's good. This might work. Nah, it's still pretty offset. Hey, Frog Stuff, welcome to the stream. Yo, it's you again. I was right here last week or something. Oh yeah, I remember. I'm still running the tutorial. Fun fact, when I finished running this thing last week, I got a comment on the stream itself saying like, wow, okay, copycat. And all I did was delete it because I'm like, yeah, this is a disturbed individual. I'm not engaging with them. May want to push this up a tad higher. People can be rude on the internet, you just gotta learn to ignore them. Yeah. I just chose to delete it though because I'm like, yeah, let's just like if I had let that sit, then I was just gonna keep stewing over it. And I just didn't want that problem.
And also, this should be looping. From that, we are getting the legs being entirely static, which is fine. Now we have to figure out how to move between idle and run. This we can do in GDScript. And for that...
Also, what the hell? When did I drop more frames?
I want to create another function called func animation. If the player is moving, we want to play the walk animation. If the player is not moving, we want to play the idle animation. To get that, first of all, we need the animation player node.
The capsule is too long. No, it's exactly how I need it to be. Unless, let me double check this. Oh, wait. No, because, hi, Dark Score. Welcome to the stream on the Twitch side. And, I don't think I've seen you around before. Welcome to Pause and Effect. I'm your host, CJ. Yeah, see, the capsule collider was exactly where it needed to be. Oh, Frog Stuff, you joined the Discord? Alright, cool, thank you very much. Okay, I will, Rolls. Hey, welcome. Please make sure you read the rules. And have fun. All right. That I think I can leave. There. Oh yeah, that's good. They are right on top.
The property we want to target is called current animation. In fact, if you have the animation player selected and you look at the inspector, there we have the current animation. At the moment, we have run and idle and reset. This one you can ignore. This you have to give a value.
Wait.
Is called current animation. In fact, if you have the animation player selected and you look at the inspector, there we have the current animation. At the moment, we have run and idle and reset. This one you can ignore. This you have to give a value, which has to be a string. Let's say for now, I want to go to walk.
Equals walk. Or run?
But this I only want to do if the player is moving, which we know is happening if we have direction X. If that is not the case, else we want to idle. Make sure you are calling this function where you want to call the animation.
Oh god, what have you posted in general? There.
And now, inside of the game. By default, nothing's happening, but if I start walking around, then we are making the debugger really unhappy. Let's see what happened. We have animation not found, walk. That's a good way to indicate what went wrong. So check inside of the animation player. We have idle and run. So in other words, this shouldn't be walk, this should be run. Once we have that, this is looking much, much better. So I can idle and I can run. Wrong direction.
If direction.x.
but generally must run.
This does not work.
So in other words, this shouldn't be walk, this should be run. Once we have that, this is looking much, much better. So
better idea. Okay. I don't. You're doing a good job on YouTube, man. Keep it up. I think you can do good someday. Ah, well, thank you. If direction X does not equal 0, animation player dot current animation equals run. Is action pressed? Is action just press move left or move right? I have an idea then. Or input dot is action pressed move right. Still not doing it.
So I can idle and I can run. In fact, if you have the animation player selected and you look at the inspector, there we have the current animation. At the moment, we have run and idle and reset. This one you can ignore. This you have to give a value, which has to be a string. Let's say for now, I want to go to walk. But this I only want to do if the player is moving, which we know is happening if we have direction X. If that is not the case, else we want to idle. Make sure you are calling this function where you want to call the animation, and now inside of the game.
Oh, whoops, don't do that. Run if what is this suggestion that I'm seeing? Just gonna pull this window over here. Okay, let me go back to the page I was at then. And we'll... Okay.
By default, nothing is happening, but if I start walking around, then we are making the debugger really unhappy.
If... Yeah, I don't get it. But I think I'm starting to hit the wall tonight, so I think this is most likely going to be where I finish up for the night, because I'm fairly tired right now. So I'm just going to cut my losses. Okay, save scene. I don't know why it won't let me save every scene, but there. I'm done for the night. I'm pretty tired. So good night, man. Frog Stuff, thank you so much for hanging out, and thank you for joining the Discord. I will hopefully catch you in a future stream. So that's it, everybody. Thank you all so much for tuning in. If you liked what you saw, please consider liking, following, commenting, subscribing, all that good jazz between YouTube and Twitch. And if you're interested, consider hitting the bell on both YouTube and Twitch to get notified every time I'm live. Thank you for tuning into my other videos and my shorts. That really means a lot to me. Keep an eye out for Saturday's video. Keep an eye out for another short or two tomorrow. Still trying to figure out whether I should do one short a day or two, but we'll see what happens there. Either way, thanks for hanging out with me, lurking, vibing, chatting. I greatly appreciate your time and your company. And if you stick around on Twitch, I'll raid out to somebody. Once again, this has been Pause and Effect on Air. I've been your host, CJ, and I will see you all Friday for Bubsy 4D. Or so tomorrow. Have a great rest of your night.